earth. Again you want me to talk about hell. So it seems there is no end. Last Sunday also we talk about hell, isn't it? Now you know where the hell is. Where is it? It is above or below? Where is it? Still you are not sure where it is. Otherwise how to avoid? Where? Down. Alright. Assume it is below. What about those who are living in certain other planet below that? To them it is above, isn't it? Because when they talk about up and below, at that time had no idea, knowledge about this world system. They knew only this and that. That's all. This is what Bertrand Russell, one of the Western philosophers, says. Having read all the information given in various holy books or religious books about heaven and hell and earth and this and that, he says, it shows how poor their understanding capacity about this world at that time. They have recorded all these things in their holy books and introduced as truths or facts. I respect only one man, he says. He has no religion. Even then he says, I respect only one man, the founder of Buddhism, the Buddha. He did not make any false statement about the world and the universe and the earth and the heaven and hell, because he knew what this universe is. Now, this is the way how intellectuals observe. Now you say hell is below and heaven is above. In my talk earlier I have mentioned and giving references where the Buddha has mentioned that heaven and hells are not located in any particular area in this universe. You have forgotten this. Now where is hell? Where? Now you know it is not situated in one particular area in this universe. Heaven and hells we can find everywhere where there are living beings, not only human beings. Where there are more suffering, where people lead miserable, most unfortunate life, regard all those places as hell. And where living beings spend wonderful, happy, prosperous, peaceful life, regard all those places as heaven. This is the meaning, interpretation given by the Buddha. And I told you, there are some people who say heaven and hell both are here in this world. They are wrong. Not only in this world. There are so many known and unknown world systems where there are living beings. The whole universe, the Buddha has categorized into how many groups? How many? 31. Categorized into 31 groups. So it does not mean there are only 31. What are those 31 places? Count. The first one, the most unfortunate one, is hell. That means miserable life. 1. Then next one, all those living beings who suffer, 2-legged, 4-legged, and without any legs, with feathers, wings, regarded as one group, into animal group. They also suffer, they are unfortunate. Second group. Third one, there are some invisible living beings known as spirits. They are very unfortunate, lead a miserable life. Third group. They exist here, they exist somewhere else, they exist in other planets, not only here. The Fourth one, demon, ghost, most fierce, wicked, a spirit who always radiate hatred, jealousy towards all the other living beings. They do exist everywhere. Pogrom. Remember this. Now come to human world. Human beings live only on this earth. You cannot find human beings somewhere else. The formations, dimension, the mind, and the way of thinking, the character, behavior, many things differ when you compare with other living beings. Human life is fortunate and unfortunate beings. 50 to 50. 50% suffering, 50% enjoyment. But some other living being, 75% suffering, 25% enjoyment. Some others, 75% enjoyment, 25% suffering. Now this is the nature of different types of living beings in this universe. Although we have more suffering than some other living being, we are more fortunate than all the other living beings in this universe. Can you give me the reason why? Is there any reason for us to point out that we are more fortunate than the others? What is that particular characteristic? Don't know. Very poor quality of human mind you have. Human mind, my dear friend. You have human mind. This human mind you cannot find in other living beings. Even Devas, Brahmas also cannot. That is why we are very fortunate. But unfortunately, our selfishness and ignorance and cunningness, we are the most dangerous, cunning living beings in this world. Others are not that bad. Human beings are the most unreliable living beings in this world. Cannot trust. We can trust all the other living beings, but we cannot trust human beings. Do you know the reason why? That is the development of that human mind. That development, maturity of human mind, we have mixed up with human intellect, selfishness, and cunningness. Now animals are not intelligent, they are not cunning, and they are not selfish like us. Ghosts, spirit, devils are fierce, harmful, dangerous. But they are not cunning like you people. They are innocent. They are not intelligent. You can bluff them very easily. By using your cunningness, you know how to bluff them. So devils also scared of you, although you are scared of devils. This is the nature of human mind. Then what about Devas and Brahmas and all the others who are higher than human beings? They are also scared of you. They are very innocent. And you know how to bluff. This is the advantage of human mind. Then, another very, very important point here. Other living beings are not very particular about religion. Devas, Brahmas also, actually they have no religion. Animals, ghosts, spirits, devils have no religion. Human beings have discovered a religion. Because religion is needed. Without religion, it is impossible to train that human mind. Can provide all the other requisite, necessary things, education, everything in this world. But without religion, human beings can become most dangerous living beings. So religion can tame that wild, wicked, selfish, cunning mind. That is why religion is needed. Whenever government enforce a law, next day you will find out something, some sort of loophole to violate it, to break it. See how sharp this human mind is. For everything that which exists in this world, you find out another loophole, either to escape or to violate it for your own benefit. Now this is the development. But this development we are misusing. So if we can train this mind properly, then we can use this mind. This development is called spiritual development, to reach up to the maximum level. Others cannot do that. A Deva cannot do that. A Brahma cannot do. Other living beings cannot do. Only a human being. That development. That is why only a human being can become a Buddha. A God cannot become a Buddha. Cannot develop this mind. So, human beings, above means comparing the way of life. Devas. There are 6 kinds of heavens. To others, only 1 heaven. We have 6. We can prefer which one we like. Then what is the difference between Buddhist heaven and the heaven that introduced by others? To others, heaven is permanent, never change. But the Buddha says there is no such thing. It is changeable. The difference is only the duration, how long that can exist. The living being can exist there. Few hundred, or few thousands, or few millions. But one day, definitely there will be an end, quite reasonable. Now this is the difference between Buddhist concept and the other religions. So, 6 depend on the degree, the gravity, the nature, the qualities of our merits. Remember what sort of merits that we accrue. By doing some good deeds, now you are doing some good deeds at this moment. This is not mere education. This is a meritorious deed. But you do not know how to divert your mind to make it as a meritorious deed. Now you are listening to my talk. To listen to my talk, you had to stop all the 5 senses. Now at this moment you don't want to take some extra object from outside to interrupt. That is called concentration. All the 5 senses are diverting, focusing towards one direction. This is concentration or contemplation. While contemplating and concentrating, you think. Now your human mind is working. If you don't allow this human mind to work like this, your mind becomes very dull. Because you never give opportunity for your mind to think. Then the mind becomes very lazy. You are doing this with confidence, to know something, to adjust your way of life. That means, by realizing that still we have some weaknesses, some bad habit, or ignorance, wrong ideas. So we want to correct, to lead a respectable, a noble, reasonable life. Now then it will become a meritorious peace. See how many channels you have diverted towards this object. Then you accrued a lot of merits. How long you spend, how many minutes, how many hours. In other words, you are going on charging your merits bank, battery. You are charging the battery in your mind. Then accumulate. This mental energy you accumulate. Then the merits bank become very rich. And this is one kind of merit. If not, you go out or do something for the benefit of others, to relieve others' suffering. Give your helping hand. Console some people who are suffering, who have fear of life, fear of death, fear of insecurity. You go and console them, give them confidence. It is a meritorious thing. Many people are ignorant. You go and give some ideas for them to maintain some confidence in them. It is a meritorious deed. Many people are suffering from sicknesses. There are various ways and means that you can adopt to relieve their suffering. It is a meritorious deed. So, we accumulate our merits in different ways, and all these merits support us to be born as one of the devas, to lead more comfortable, more happy, more prosperous life. That means better than this. This is called heaven. There are 6 stages altogether, all over the universe. Depend on our mind. And there is a time limit for that. Don't think it is permanent, you can remain there forever. That is why the Buddha has given this warning, not to aim at heaven thinking that is your ultimate aim of this religion. You have to go beyond that. Heaven is not the ultimate aim. Otherwise one day we will regret again. In other words, actually speaking to Buddhists, heaven is nothing. It is only a temporary place for us to relax, to eat and enjoy and spend a pleasurable life for some time, a longer period. Other than that, there is nothing. There is nothing for you to learn in heaven. There is no chance for you to develop your way of life there. No chance. But here, all the facilities are available. There are many things for you to learn. There are so many things for you to cultivate your way of life, to purify your mind. By considering all these things, the Buddha has said, human life is better than all the other living beings. But 2 things are spoiling this human life: selfishness and cunningness. So we are learning to reduce these 2 things. Reduce selfishness as much as possible. When you reduce your selfishness, cunningness automatically goes down. Because we increase our cunningness because of selfishness. Then we become perfect. Alright, 6 kinds of heaven. Now you have learned. 16 kinds of Brahma world. I am talking about 31. Then who are they? The way of life in Brahma realm or world are far better than heaven. So in heavenly life, although they enjoy their life in worldly way, their anger and jealousy and greed are still very strong. But when we reach that higher stage, Brahma world or Brahma state, we have already reduced that our crazy attitude that we maintain for enjoyment, for pleasure, we reduce already by knowing the danger of it. So when you reduce that, then our anger and jealousy and selfishness also automatically reduce. The five senses now we are using here as human beings or as devas to enjoy worldly pleasure also reduce. Now we have no peace because one of these five senses disturbs the mind. That is why we say very hard to meditate, very difficult to concentrate because of this. Mind is disturbed by one of these senses. But when you go to that level, the senses are under control, calmed earlier. That means mind never becomes slaves to senses. Now the mind surrendered to the senses. That is why we say we cannot meditate. When the senses started to disturb, we say cannot meditate. Then surrender. The mind surrendered to the senses. When you develop up to that stage, we never surrender our mind to the senses. Senses surrender to the mind. That means mind can control, calm the crazy attitude of the senses. Then we experience wonderful peace that we are not experiencing now. Now tension, excitement, anxiety, these are the things always disturb the mind. But we take them as pleasure. Now when you look at rock music, very clearly you can understand. The way of singing and dancing, this is music, wonderful music. But you take this as pleasure, isn't it? Create excitement, real excitement. It shows the mind is not cultured. If the mind is cultured, human beings never behave like this. Because there is no culture there. It's a very crude form of entertainment which creates excitement, disturb the mind and the heart. When you develop further and further and further, in the calmness, tranquility, serenity, peace, real happiness, gentleness we maintain. That is called the development of mind. So when we reach that stage, all those Brahmas experience more peace, more happiness, more contentment, more relaxation than these human beings and devas. But that place also not permanent. Earlier, before Buddhism come into existence, people believed this is the final goal. Brahma world is the ultimate goal. The Buddha is the only one who pointed out it is not permanent. Again, there are two stages there in Brahma world. You may not believe it because you have no ground to believe, but one day you may realize it. One way of life, without physical body, mental energy remains as life. Then you cannot, how can be that? How can mental energy remain without physical body? Another group, physical body remains without mental energy. It is more difficult for you to understand. In Brahma world, the real meaning is this. When people develop deep concentration and meditation on physical body, analyzing the nature, futility, impermanency, uncertainty, and ugliness, and miserable, horrible, unpleasant feeling that this physical body creates, they detach the strong attachment they had toward this physical body. When that attachment is weakened, that mental energy which maintains these qualities, life is there. Existence or rebirth take place in such a place where life exists without formation of a physical body. Very rare, very, very rare. That means they are completely free from all these problems that we are facing. How many hours a day we had to spend to support, to look after, to attend, to clean, washing for this physical body? In the end, what do we gain? More suffering. We have no time to attend to various other most important things in our life. All the while, we are devoting our valuable time to look after this feeding, eating, drinking, taking medicine, bathing, cleaning, and to protect, not to die. But after reaching that stage, life exists without that disturbance. No responsibilities, no miseries, worries about physical body. Now this is one stage. Another stage, physical body remains, but mental faculties are not functioning. Just like a piece of wood or rock. Also through their meditation. This method was there in India even before the Buddha. So, this transcendental meditation, when they develop, but not the modern transcendental meditation that they have developed long ago in India, they go on developing and developing and developing and reduce the activities, the function of the mental faculties, Vedana, perception, and the mental tendencies and accumulations of consciousness, going on reducing through meditation. After their death, rebirth, existence again take place in one of the Brahma realms. So the physical body remains there, but there is no noticeable mental faculty in that physical body. Only mental energy remains. Because without mental energy, it is impossible for a physical body to exist. Energy must be there. But the mental faculties are not functioning. Then they are free from many of our problems. We have fear of death. They are free from that. We have worries. They have no such worries there. And we have 1001 problems in our mind. They are free from all these. And they also worry. You are wasting your life there. such a long period. But many others regarded this as permanent, eternal, everlasting salvation. Earlier, to the questions, why Buddhism? Why Buddhism is needed? In spite of various other religions, before and after the Buddha, so many other religions also come into existence. Why it is necessary for us to maintain another religion known as Buddhism? And this is the answer. Because others could not understand these points. What the Buddha has revealed. This is the area where we can say that all these religions are equal, wrong. They are not equal. All these religions are the same, wrong, not same. There you can see the differences. But we can say, every religion teaches us to do good, yes. We agree, no controversy. Every religion advises us not to do bad thing, do good thing, yes. No problem. We agree. But is that the purpose of a religion? Because there are many others in this world who do lot of good deeds, who keep away from bad things without depending on any religion. That means the main purpose of religion is not only that. People can understand. Without depending on religion, they can understand what are the good things and what are the bad things. Religion is important to go further and further and further. Then we can understand where the religion is needed. Just now I mentioned, other religions say, heaven is eternal, permanent, no changes, suffer forever. Buddhism says no, it is not permanent, it is changeable. There is nobody to suffer forever. See the difference now? Other religions say heaven is permanent, eternal, everlasting. You can enjoy your life forever. Buddhism says no, there is no such place. No doubt you can enjoy such a long period. Definitely one day there will be an end to it. See the difference again. Again other religions say, God can forgive all your sins that you have committed if you believe in God. The Buddhism says no. After committing all sort of evil, you can say, I believe in Buddha, I believe in Bodhisattva, I believe in God, please forgive my sins. Impossible. If there is someone, you can commit more and more evil things. So just now, I've been talking about the differences. And the final goal, after reaching the Brahma world, where life exists without a physical body, they regard it as the final goal. The Buddha says no. Because still, in that life, there are certain ingredients which can condition or produce rebirth. Therefore, it is not the final goal. Because they have not eradicated all the mental impurities from their mind. That is why there is no final salvation. So life exists without mental faculties. Mind exists without visible physical body. Mental faculties are functioning. Cannot stop rebirth. Only Buddhism teaches this. Then, regarding this heaven and hell, all the others believe all these two places were created by God to reward and to punish. The Buddha says, there is nobody to create heaven or hell. Not created by anybody. And they say, heaven is above, hell is below. The Buddha says, heaven and hells are everywhere, all over the universe where there are living beings. Now see the differences? Therefore, how can you say all these religions teach the same thing? Of course, at the initial stage, when you talk about morals and ethics and this and that, yes, all are equal. Go higher and higher and higher, philosophical, psychological, intellectual, spiritual level, you can see the differences. Then, how to avoid, how to escape hell, that is the main theme. This idea appears in our mind by depending on one religious concept. Otherwise, there is no reason for us to talk about this. How to escape from hell, as if that it is compulsory. That everybody must go to hell. Therefore, we must find out a method how to escape from hell. Buddhism never taught that hell is compulsory. The idea was originated because of that original sin. We are sinners. We have original sin. If we do not believe in God, definitely we have to go to hell. That is how the idea was originated. Before the concept of this original sin, people never had this belief. What is this original sin? When the first human beings appear on this earth, you know the story. God created forbidden fruits and given a warning not to eat. Then why did he create? Just to show. No meaning. Why did he create? To test. Why it is necessary to test, can't we understand? Because they are created by him. To us, there is no meaning. Again they say, alright, then the devil appeared. Then who created the devil? For what purpose? Why did he create the devil? To test. Why it is necessary to test? Keep quiet without creating devil. No problem. Keep quiet without creating the forbidden fruits. No problem. Right? Devil created temptation. So why did he allow the devil to create temptation? He kept quiet. And that temptation influenced the mind for them to eat the fruits. Why did he keep quiet while the poor man was eating the fruit? It is poisonous. Today the whole mankind is suffering because of that. By knowing that, why did he keep quiet? Why did he allow that man to eat this fruit? No answer. To us there is no meaning. And they regard us as sinners because of that. Then they say, if you don't believe in God to forgive that sin, no other choice. You'll have to go to hell. Well, although there is no meaning to us in this saying, there is something for you to learn from the Buddhist point of view here. How to merge these two concepts. This incident, this creations of this forbidden tree and influence by devils and this and that, is an illustration. It is not actually that something happened like that. It is an illustration introduced by those people to convey some ideas. And similar incident you can find in the Buddha scripture. But that one is very natural. When there were no human beings on this earth, two Brahmas, just now I mentioned, came down, and after that I told you they have controlled, subdued or suppressed their craving for sensual pleasure, not eradicated, controlled. When they came down to this earth, they have seen very nice aroma. It creates temptation, appetites. What is this? The cream on the earth. and they wanted to test. After testing, they developed further craving. When they developed their craving, which was creeping under control for a long time in their life, their supernatural power that which they maintain is lost because of this craving. When the supernatural power is gone, they could not go back to their permanent place. Permanent means their residence, where they were living. So they had to settle down. The later, because of this craving, all the other mental defilements that they have been keeping under control in their mind started to develop. Then jealousy, anger, discrimination, hostile attitude, selfishness, so many other mental impurities also started to develop in the same mind. But all these things are natural occurrences, not created by devil, not created by God. They say temptation or craving was created by the devil in the man. The Buddha says this intrinsic or natural craving which had been keeping under control in the same mind should arouse, stir, then create a temptation in the mind. It is natural. So devil has nothing to do with it. That is the nature of original sin. So we don't regard this as original sin. There is no such thing as original. This a story they have created in order to convert others into their religion, only for that purpose. Otherwise, they have no ground to convert the followers of other religion into their religion. Frighten them. You can see the difference now. Again, you can refer to the Buddha. This saying is also important for you to remember. What the Buddha said about the nature of our mind earlier. Pabhassaramidang bhikkhave chittam tanchako agantukehi upakkilesehi upakkile. Naturally, our human minds are very pure, very bright, luminous. Normal human mind is very pure. When those Brahmas appeared first time, their minds were not polluted. But later, you know what has happened. Then the Buddha says, Tanchako agantukehi upakkilesehi upakkile. Later, when the five senses started to work, develop, these five senses started to bring so many external objects into the mind. These external objects disturb the mind, influence the mind, created temptation in our mind. Then all the other mental impurities started to develop. Now let us take another example. When a baby is born, you can see how innocent that baby is. For a few months or a few years, very innocent. All the bad, evil thought that we are keeping in our mind, we cannot find in that baby's mind. Very, very innocent. But when this child is grown, then you can see how all the mental impurities also going on, developing, then anger, jealousy, grudge and selfishness, cunningness, all they started to develop these impurities through the influence of external forces. Family members, father and mother, friends and relatives, companions, they contribute all these things. Then mental pollution takes place. After that they become thugs and gangsters and terrorists, dangerous people. But when they were small babies, so innocent. Now that is what the Buddha says. Earlier, our minds are very pure. Later, it depends on the society, the country, the family where we live. Our environment or the atmosphere in that particular house or the area or the country contribute a lot for us to be good or to become a criminal-minded or wicked or cunning person. All come from outside. Besides that, we also have our intrinsic or natural mental habits that we have developed during our previous birth. Then both contribute each other. Assume a child is born in a family where parents and all the other family members are very wicked people, very cruel people, who have no religion at all. But this child who was born in this particular family had developed his mind to lead a noble life. Although he was born in that family, he does not agree to follow his parents or the other family members. Either he escapes or he goes away. If not, he keeps to himself without following the other. That is his own. But naturally, if the mind is weakened, others can influence very easily. Now this is the nature of our existence. So just now, I explained why this word, how to escape from heaven, was originated. Because of that original sin. We have no such original sin. Every day we are sinning, we are committing sin. Every day. Every day we are paying for what we have done. This is the nature of sin. Sin means bad karma. Assume we have done bad karma, or we have done or committed sins. Now the question is how to escape from hell. That is important. I told you the other day, after committing all sort of evil things, it is impossible for you to escape from hell simply by praying or worshipping to any god. Never work. This forgiveness of sin is out of question. But if you are wise, if you can understand, you can adjust your way of life to escape. Another person cannot do that. When you refer to Dhammapada, when you go back and read this particular stanza, sayings of the Buddha, answer is given there. Na idang atta katang bimbang, na idang parakatang nagang. Etung paticca sambhutang, etu bhanga nirujjati. Now this is in Visuddha Marga, path of purification. This life is not created by yourself. Although you say this is your life, but this life is not created by you. You cannot create a life. But you are responsible. You are responsible for the formation of this life as a human being. But you are not responsible for the life. If your life is miserable, you are responsible for it. If your life is very pleasurable, meaningful, you are responsible for it. That is the only thing that you have contributed. Otherwise, this is not your life. I say this is my life. You say this is your life. In reality, it's not your life. If it is yours, then you must have full authority to control. You don't like to suffer from sicknesses, isn't it? If it is your life, why can't you control your sicknesses? I clearly show this is not your life. If this is your life, why can't you stop getting old? Young people don't like to become old. But you have no controlling power. Then how can you say this is your life? Then belong to whom? Referring to the Buddha. Na idang parakatang nagang. Created by another person? No. This life is not created by another person, either God or Brahma or any other supernatural living being. So that belief that God created life is not acceptable according to the Buddha's teaching. No meaning. Not created by another person. Who is that person to create this? What for? Then, here the answer is given. Hetung paticca sambhuta. There are so many known and unknown, seen and unseen, or unimaginable elements and factors and energies. When all these things join together, combine together, balance equally, hetung paticca sambhutam, the life come into existence. If these factors are no more there, there is nobody to create a life. That is how this life come into existence. Combinations of so many things together. They have their own gravity, magnetic power, attachment. That is the nature of elements and energy. Then, in the end what will happen? Hetu bhanga niruddha. When those factors, elements, energies become powerless to remain as a bundle, then dissolve, disintegrate, natural. This is the nature of it. So another person is not responsible. Remember this. Again, all our good and bad action, karma, created by us individually. Husband cannot create good or bad karma for his wife. Wife cannot create good and bad karma for her husband. Parents cannot create good karma for their children. Children cannot create good karma for their parents. Individual. So each and every person individually responsible for his or her own karma. That means I cannot change your karma. You cannot change my karma. I cannot create karma for you and you cannot create karma for me. Because my own mind creates karma. I had to think to create good karma or bad karma. Your thinking cannot create karma in my mind. So, a God or Buddha or Brahma cannot change our karma. My mind is responsible for my karma. By knowing this, the Buddha has pointed out. Here we are talking, although we have committed some bad karma, how to escape from hell. If there is nobody who can change our bad karma, then there is a method. By realizing this, first thing we had to stop committing any fresh or new karma. Without doing that, your prayers never answer. You won't get anything. You had to make up your mind, create a strong determination in your mind not to repeat, not to commit such bad thing. That is the first thing you have to do. Second thing, go on creating, producing more and more good karmas. That means do more service to others. Instead of praying, throw away all this thing, go and do some service to others. Then, try to understand the nature of your mind. Whether you have more anger, more jealousy, more cruelty, more cunningness, more selfishness. By knowing, try to reduce. Then you escape from hell. See the method now. Since it is very difficult, easiest way that you have discovered, go and pray to God, finish. But all the dirty things still boiling in your mind, you think you can escape. This is the simple answer to this question, how to escape from hell. You cannot escape from hell by praying to any god after committing evil. You cannot escape from hell simply by praying to Buddha without cultivating merits. The Buddha has introduced this method. That day I told you, if you take refuge in the Buddha before your death, although you have not done enough merits, you never go to hell immediately after your death, rebirth can take place in heaven. Yes, that is temporary, only for a short period. But after that, there is no guarantee what will happen to you, because you have not accumulated enough merit to continue your way of life to be born in a better condition. Either way, how Buddhism analyzes all this. And this method is very solid. By knowing this, you stop committing any more evil. You try to do more service to others, and you try to reduce all sort of evil thoughts that you maintain in your mind. Then you can escape from hell, and you can continue that way of life, life after life, until you find out your final salvation. Remember the way how Buddha has explained how to escape from hell. I think it's enough. Now there is nothing for you to worry about hell. To ask any question, can you spend a few minutes?
Do you have any questions or any doubts that you'd like to clarify this morning regarding hell or regarding heaven? May I ask, by accumulating merit, what will happen to a lot of former bad deeds and sins that we have done? Well, while we continue to do good deeds, we will escape from hell or start to live a better life, a happier life. But what will happen to those sins in the past we have committed?
She is very intelligent. So I forgot to add that part, otherwise very misleading. A person who has committed a lot of bad deeds, by realizing that way of life is wrong, and he completely changed, stopped, and have done a lot of good deeds and maintain a healthy mind also. So after his death, he could manage to escape from hell, and rebirth has taken place in a very favorable state, as human beings, so Deva, so Brahma. Then, what happened to the bad karma that this person has committed earlier? Because we say there is nobody to forgive our sin. So if there is nobody to forgive, then what happened to all the bad karma that we have done? That is the question. This is very important question. So the Buddha also explained this. We cannot abolish, wash away either good karma or bad karma that we have done by changing our way of life due to the influence of certain fresh karma. Understand? They still remain in the waiting list. When there are no more strong good karma, then the bad karmas in the waiting list come and catch you again. That means there is no guarantee until you attain Arahanthood, or even Arahanthood also. See, Moggallana, say Angulimala, after becoming an Arahant also, he had to pay until he died. Attain Nirvana, he had to pay the effect of bad karma. Moggallana, during one of his previous births, long, long ago, nobody knows, killed his own father and mother. He paid. I think nearly 90% he has paid, but not complete. Last birth, after becoming an Arahant, chief disciples of the Buddha, he had to pay the remainder. He was murdered. Such a powerful Arahant who developed miraculous power, he was murdered by gangsters. Then the Buddha explained, do you know why this monk, this Arahant, had to face untimely death? During one of his previous births, he has killed his own father and mother. He paid, but not completely. Due to influence of certain other good karmas, he had the chance to become human being and continue this religious way of life. But even then, they remained affected at the last moment. So, if we can continue more and more good karma, So we will be able to keep the effect of a bad karmas under control. When our good karmas are weakened, then the bad karmas get the chance to attack us at any moment. Now let us take from the medical point of view. I think a doctor can explain better than us. Our resistant power in our physical body to avoid, to escape so many sicknesses. We are susceptible, subject to get many kind of sicknesses at any moment. But we have a very strong battalion in our body, they say white cells and all sort of things to protect. If that receptive power in the body to maintain good health and resistant power to resist, to avoid, is weakened, little bit of virus, germs enter into our body can create sickness very easily. Now in one family, one person is having cough and cold. One or two others get, but all the others nothing. That means their resistant power is very strong. So in the same manner, if we have accumulated good karma, effect of certain bad karmas become powerless in front of the good karma. No chance to affect, to attack. So we can continue until we attain nirvana. After that, no more karma. All our karmas, good and bad karmas, completely extinguished, evaporated, no more. Then Nibbanic bliss. Below that level, wherever we remain, the effect of our good and bad karmas follow us just like shadow. Dhammapada says, Chayava anapayini, Chaya, shadow. Just like our shadow, follow us wherever we go. This is the nature of our karma. And no one can destroy this karma. No one can steal this karma. We also cannot abolish this karma at once, but we can suspend, we can stop, we can prolong certain things, but again follow us until we remain. As long as we remain within this cycle of birth and death, and these things also follow us, going round and round, never disappear. This is the answer.
Reverend, can I ask on behalf of one of our sisters here? I think she's too afraid to come and ask. The question is, in hell, what will the beings be doing there? And in heaven, what about those beings in heaven? What do they do in heaven? Reverend,
well, just now I mentioned the nature of heaven and hell. I think if you realize what I mentioned, there's no ground for you to ask this question. Because here also we are experiencing heavenly bliss and suffering in hell. In animal life also they are experiencing both. And heaven and so-called heaven and Brahma world also they experience. In heaven also they experience hellfire. Do you know that? Kidda padosika deva. The devas who enjoy heavenly life, when they lose their temper, when their anger flare up, instantly they die. This is the tenderness of their life. And they have a lot of worries about their future. They do not know about their fate. Uncertainty about their life. So in heaven also they experience this kind of suffering. And what about here? Animal kingdom, they have no mind to understand these things. They have no mind to, they have mind, but they cannot, they haven't got intelligence to understand the nature of their life and the fate and future. That's why we regard them as unfortunate living beings. But we have that mind. Even those culprits who violate, who disturb others also know very well. They have to suffer for what they are doing. But their craving is so strong, so grave, they cannot stop it. They know they have to suffer. That understanding is there. But animals cannot understand this. So, heaven and hell mean where there are sufferings and where there are more enjoyment in any part of the universe. And there they lead a way of life according to the formations of that life and the world and the atmosphere. Otherwise there is no any particular job for them to do. When people have illustrated hell, I think you have seen various illustration, pictures, burning, cutting, sawing and poking. These are the punishment given by the rulers long ago in many parts of the world for those culprits. So later we have illustrated them and depicted as suffering in hell. You cannot find any extraordinary sufferings or punishment in hell. Same thing what those rulers have done long ago in this world. Again, when they illustrate heaven, how they draw the pictures. One male got few hundred female mistresses. And here also, those who got more money, more wives. That is, to them it is heaven. And how they eat and drink and dance here. And they draw. In heaven also they are eating, drinking, dancing, so many mistresses. And they gain everything what they want. And here also they gain everything what they want. And what is that extraordinary pleasure they experience in heaven? Nothing. They also face death. Their life also is permanent, also changeable. So all these are illustrations drawn by the religious people to create temptation by illustrating heaven, to create fear by illustrating hell.
Questions? One, huh?
Right. Just now you say that if there's no more good karma, the bad karma will surface. So if on that equation, is it possible that you don't do any more good karma, let the bad karma surface and let it exhaust, you see, so that you reach Nibbana faster or...
Wonderful shortcut. What do you mean by nirvana? A storehouse of consciousness in our mind is called accumulated good and bad karmas life after life, not only within one lifetime. Every minute we are going on accumulating either good karma or bad karma. We cannot escape from that. If we use our five senses, if we use our mind, we create either good karma or bad karma. Then all these actions, mental activities, deposited in the subconscious mind. The effect of these good and bad karmas we experience through the influence of environment, way of life and atmosphere. Certain karmas get the chance to affect us due to the influence of external environment. Certain karmas get the chance to affect us according to our way of life, what we are doing in our day-to-day life. Certain effects that we experience due to their heaviness, weight, which part is more heavier than the other. So, there is no living beings in this world who can empty this storehouse of consciousness where we have accumulated good and bad karma. Because every minute we are going on depositing. Every minute we are going on spending. Now, take for instance a baby, a small baby. Immediately after giving birth, this baby dies. And this child has never done either good karma or bad karma, no chance. then what is the fate of this child? Whether this child had another life or not. In the Buddha's teaching you can find the answer. This child had the opportunity to become a human being or to conceive in the mother's womb because of the previous very weak good karma. But that karma is not strong enough to maintain, to carry on that life. Then drop. But after that, in the storehouse of consciousness in that baby, there are millions or billions of good and bad karma submerged. And one of these karmas again take the responsibility to condition, to produce another life. So another existence depends on one of the karmas. They are in that mind. This is the nature of karma. So no one can empty the human mind. No one can spend all the good and bad karmas and empty our mind to attain nirvana at once. What is your question?
Brother, Master, a person can be an instrument of karma. Like in the case of the Buddha, when he tried to help his kinsman from being killed by a prince, but when he sees that they have done a rather evil karma in the past, and they had to suffer for it. And also, can a person avoid be born in a better realm, like in the Brahma worlds or the Indra worlds, in order to be born again as a human, to cultivate more? Like, can a person become an instrument of karma? In a sense that, like, when the Buddha, he tried to stop a prince from killing his kinsman, the Sakyas, but he refrained from doing so at the fourth time, because he saw that their sins, their previous sins, their evil karma is too strong, and he tried to let the prince do the evil karma, but trouble is that the prince too suffered because he was also killed later. And also, can a person refrain from taking birth in the realms of the gods, like the Brahmas or the Indras, in order to come back to earth again, to become a human, and to cultivate more, to attain nirvana?
First part is easy to answer. The second part, you have to think. Yes, when Sakya clans were completely eradicated by Prince Vidudaba, the Buddha came to know that. Then he found out the very strong bad karma that this group committed earlier, and they haven't got enough supportive karmas to maintain. Although we have done some bad karmas, at the same time, if we have done some enough good karmas to support us, to protect us, again we can avoid, again we can escape. Now you commit certain bad thing. You know you are culprit, you have done this. Your enemies wanted to come and attack you. But you have very strong supporters. Your friends, your relatives, your neighbors come and protect you. Don't allow others to come and attack you. Exactly like this. But even then, there is no guarantee that you can escape forever. So in the same manner, when the Buddha came to know that these people haven't got enough supportive karmas to protect them, he had to keep quiet. He allowed karma to take action. He never stopped karmic action. He cannot stop, because he too had to surrender himself to his own karma. When he was suffering, he told, you know why I am suffering like this? During one of my previous births, I have done this. This is the effect. He had no authority to stop it. This is the nature of this one. And the second part is still not clear. The devas who come down from heaven to become human beings, and what is actually real question? Subject matter? About this. Yeah. That means you don't want. Oh, very good, very good, very good. I am one of them, you know. I never pray to go to heaven. Understand? If I go to heaven, I waste my valuable time. I have no chance to do this kind of service also. All the while in eating, drinking, dancing, having so many mistresses, and be a very big problem actually. So here, very peaceful, and I can develop more and more what you call intelligence and understanding services by giving due credit to human mind. It depends on our aspiration. Now I got the point. So when we do some meritorious deeds, we must have some aspiration. Aspiration means aim. So what is the aim of doing your meritorious deed? Whether to become a human being, or to go to heaven and enjoy your life, or to go to heaven, if not, to gain something else. So, we experience the result of good karma according to our wish, our aspiration, or our will. Because whatever we develop in our mind, even according to modern psychology, the will is more important than anything else. So that will pave the way for us to be born, either as human beings or devas or this or that. It depends on your aspiration. If you want to go and enjoy your life in so-called heaven, it is up to you. But you must understand the nature of heaven. If you want to be born as human beings, then you must aspire. If I want to become a human being, I must have these qualities and the virtues to cultivate my human mind, to be virtuous, to be noble. Then you can lead your life without going back to the jungle again. If you neglect all these things, you do a lot of good deeds, but you do not know what you gain. Uncertainty is there. So aspiration is very important. Because some people say, when we do some good deeds, we should not think of the reward. It is not the reward. By knowing this good result, create some effect, some good result. So our duty is to divert this good effect through proper channel. Otherwise we do not know what we gain.